Hi there! Today's video is how to make butternut squash tortillas. Now this is a special video because it was inspired by one of my subscribers. She wrote in and said, I can't do rice, breads, nuts, etc. Same with potatoes and all the nightshades and corn. No yams, no sweet potatoes because I'm very sensitive to oxalates, but I can do winter squashes. So Amelia, this recipe video is for you. The only ingredient in this tortilla recipe is butternut squash. The two forms it comes in is one, flour, and the only ingredient in this flour is butternut squash. Then the other form is the actual squash flesh. We're not even going to be adding water because there's going to be enough water in the squash flesh. Now because there's only butternut squash in these tortillas, they do behave a bit differently than a flour tortilla or even a corn tortilla. So stay tuned to the end of this video because I'm going to give you some tips for success. And for those of you with a long list of food intolerances, you'll also want to stick around to the very end because I've got an announcement I'm going to make that is special for those of you with food intolerances. Alright, let's get started.
Okay, to get started, you'll need a minimum of 1/2 cup of cooked squash puree. After I cooked my squash, I ran it through the blender for this silky texture. In all, you'll need between 1.5 to 2 cups of butternut squash flour. How much flour you'll be using depends on the water content of the type of squash you're using. For example, fresh squash will need more flour because it's going to have higher water content than if you are using canned squash. Start by mixing the two together with a spatula, and once it becomes pliable, switch to working the dough with your hands. Add the next 1/2 cup of flour and continue to combine it thoroughly with your hands. And you will notice that this flour and squash will stain your hands a little bit on the orange side, but don't worry, it goes away quickly. For the third round of adding flour, do it in sprinkles and really feel out the dough's moisture balance. You're feeling for that perfect place where the dough isn't too dry, where it's cracking but not too moist that it sticks to your fingers or makes a sticky mess in the pan during cooking. So sprinkle, combine, sprinkle, combine, sprinkle, combine. Once your dough feels just right, break pieces off and make around 2-inch balls. No precise measurement is really necessary. Obviously, larger balls are going to make a larger tortilla. I'm going to show you 2 methods of pressing these out. First with a rolling pin and then with a tortilla press. First you'll need a non-stick pan preheating on medium heat while you press the dough balls. Next, take a quart-sized plastic bag and cut off all the sides of the plastic so the plastic becomes 2 separate sheets. Lay one sheet on the bottom, place a dough ball on top, and then the other plastic sheet will go on top of the dough ball. I found that saran wrap and wax paper don't really work as well as this method. With your rolling pin, start with just pressing down with just little bits of rocking back and forth before you go straight into the big strokes. Rotate the tortilla multiple times as you press it out to the desired thickness and the size that you want. With the rolling pin, you won't get those neat, perfect circles that a tortilla press will give you. Just an FYI. I've also found these tortillas to work a little better if not as thin as a flour or a corn tortilla. There's an earthiness texture to these, and I think a flour and corn tortilla don't quite have that. Next, on a flat, hard surface, pull the plastic off. Make sure the surface is clean for you to put the tortilla directly on when you flip it over to remove the other side. Then leave it there as is on the surface until you're ready to put it in the preheated pan. These are not tortillas that should be handled too much before cooking. Allow it to cook from 2 to 3 minutes on each side. While this one's cooking, you can press out the next tortilla. I'll show you how to do that with a tortilla press on this one. Place the plastic sheet on the bottom and then place the dough ball on top of it, then add the top plastic sheet just as before with the rolling pin. Press and rotate the tortilla around, and you want to rotate it several times so that the pressing is even. And no need to press too hard since you don't want these to be too thin. When done, again, place on a hard, clean surface for plastic removal. This This is perfect timing to flip the tortilla that was cooking in the pan. Once it's done, place it inside a towel until ready to eat. I'm going to place the next tortilla in the pan, and I think the pan could be a little hotter, so I'm going to turn the temperature up to a medium-high heat. Again, 2 to 3 minutes on each side depending on the thickness of the tortilla. You can even flip it a couple times if necessary. I've added this second tortilla to the kitchen towel, and I'm just going to continue on with this same method for the rest of the tortillas. Alright, let's get some food on these babies. Personally, I think that a food that will act like a glue on the base kind of works best. I didn't do it here, but the avocado would have been even better had I mashed it with a fork and then used it as a spread instead of using slices. The spread will kind of help hold the veggie toppings in place. Now I'm going to show you a way that you can eat these tortillas as a flatbread. I'm going to spread mashed bananas over the top, and then I'm going to add some sliced dates. Then cut the tortilla in half and fold it over like a sandwich. Let me know in the comments below if you made these and if you ate them like a tortilla or like a flatbread.
I've got a couple tips for you to help you with success.
Tip number 1. I emphasized earlier to be sure to pull the plastic off on a flat, hard, clean surface. This is why. Doing it in your hand can cause the plastic to really just be a pain in the bum. And it can even catch the edges of the tortilla and tear it just like this. Tip number 2. Use a wide base spatula if you have one. The wide aspect of the spatula gives the tortillas just more support during the transfer to the pan. Tip number 3. No watery foods to fill the tortillas or this will happen. I really just wasn't thinking, and as I scooped out the veggies, I was also scooping out the juices too, and the juices went right into the tortilla and oops, there it goes. As you see here again, I allowed the veggies this time to cool a little bit so the steam content was less, plus I made sure that I strained the juice from the spoon before placing the veggies in the tortilla. Worked much better this way. Tip number 4. This really isn't a tip as it is an FYI. There are a couple squash flour brands out there. I'll put a link in the description below of some of them that you can find on Amazon. Also, you could use pumpkin flour too if that's something that works better for you. And if you're using fresh squash, it doesn't have to be butternut. Just about any hearty orange winter squash flesh will do. Just for sure, don't use spaghetti squash.
Now I know firsthand from myself and also from family members that there is a growing demographic of people out there with a long list of food intolerances. We've all heard of gluten intolerance, we've all heard of dairy intolerance, but what if your list of food intolerances goes way beyond that? Give me a kitchen challenge. Write in the comments below your list of foods you cannot eat, along with foods that are on your safe list. And perhaps I'll choose one of my recipe videos to be inspired by you, and I will come up with a recipe that works with your food safe list. So don't be shy and leave me a comment below. Be sure to check out my other videos right here, and if you want to see my upcoming videos, hit that subscribe button, then ding the bell right next to the subscribe button so you're notified each time I upload a new video. I'll see you next time. Bye!